been working the last week on trying to get the model for the complete car to be eligible, not really eligible, but to be for it to be possible to put it in the flow simulations completely. And it has been very difficult because, as you know, there are like more than 1,000 parts that go into making a car like this, and to make it possible for me to do the wind results and do everything with all of those components in it, it's basically undoable. So I'm just doing the body panels and everything, so without the suspension components, and there will be tires on the car and everything, but more than that I can't really get in there because you have to imagine like parts have to completely perfectly line up for it to be aerodynamically efficient, but at the same time, if panels are lining up with each other and certain lines are crossing and everything, then SolidWorks can't really calculate whether that is a zero thickness geometry and or if it is something solid. So basically that means that SolidWorks doesn't know if the air current should penetrate it or if it should follow another path around that object. So that is very difficult for the software to handle, and it's very difficult and it's very time consuming for me to make a model that is a complete car and at the same time is also eligible to be in the wind tunnel like that. So it is very difficult and very time consuming, but now I am basically down to the point where it is doable right now to have a representative just flow trajectory around the car and also get realistic numbers out of how much downforce it would produce and all of those things. So that is what I'm working with right now, and I'm just curious to see how it would end up looking and all of that. So I will see you guys in a couple of minutes, and let's just hope that everything is good. And in the meantime, in between time, let me just fix something real quick. Somebody asked in the YouTube comments what type of laptop I'm using to model and everything, so I figured it might be a good idea to also show that. And at the same time, I also haven't really, I just forgot to respond to the comments, so that is what I'm doing right now. So this is the laptop that I'm using. It is a HP Envy Touch Smart 15-inch computer, and it has like, I believe it has like 12 gigabytes of RAM or working memory, or however you want to call it in English. I don't know what the exact term is. And it also has an NVIDIA GTX GeForce, I believe it's like an 840 or something, with 4 gigabytes of graphic memory, and also it is like an Intel i7. Don't ask me what generation or how many processor gigahertz or whatever it is, but yeah, that is the hardware that I'm working with right now. And it also has like 250 gigabytes of SSD memory and another 750 of just hard drive. So that is the laptop that I'm working with, and it's a touchscreen, so it's cool. That's basically the setup that I'm working with. So any other announcements that I have to make? We'll see where we end up from this point. See you in a second on SolidWorks.
Okay, so now we finally basically got the process all the way completed. Not all the way yet, but there's something representable and something for me to just display you guys that was asking for like a full CFD for the videos and everything. So that is basically what this is. So as you can see, this is a little bit of a simplified version of the car because there are no suspension components in there. The wheels and the rims are in there, but there are no disc brakes behind them, and the engine air intake is also not in the model, and there is also not an exhaust system in here, and also the complete rear wing mechanism isn't in here, and a couple of other things are missing. But I think you can also already see from the screen recording that my screen isn't really running completely smooth, and it's taking a lot of computing processing space to just do these type of things. So this is basically, I think, the closest I will get. The other thing that I can show you from this is because you can also see a little bit that it's not really all the way realistic the way it should be. There's also not really a ground in here, so the ground effects aren't really maximized, but you can see a little bit that there is a darker blue on under the front ring right here than there is here. So this is a little bit of lighter blue, which means that this is a more aggressive low air pressure zone than on top, so which means that this would be providing downforce because it is creating suction underneath the splitter right there. So you can also see that there are low air pressure zones on top of the the wheels, and of course I also have other versions of the fenders with fender flares in there that would kind of alleviate some of that low air pressure on top of the rings, on top of the fenders, to get more downforce and all of that. But you can also see that some of these air currents aren't really facing any effect of the rear wing, and it kind of feels like it's just penetrating it through instead of being pushed upward and everything. So I feel like certain parts aren't really taken into consideration with these calculations and this flow simulation and all of that. So maybe I need to find different software to do it more accurately, and I have seen a couple of other things, but I didn't really find a way to download it. But for now, I'm pretty satisfied with just the results that I'm getting right here, and I can also show you like the results of just what kind of numbers it is producing. And I already did this with different numbers and everything, with also ground effects in it, so with the floor that's underneath the car, so I can tell you a little bit more about what the real numbers would be with the car, and also what I have in mind and everything. So what you can see is that in the C direction, so that is horizontally, the resistance that it's creating, it is creating 200 newtons of force, and in the vertical direction, so that would be the downforce, it's creating about 60 kilograms or like 62 kilograms of downforce. And that is not the accurate version, because when I did with the floor in it and everything, it was creating something like 300 kilograms of downforce. And it's probably also important for me to mention that this is at 250 kilometers an hour. So that is the way that everything has been done for just all of these calculations. So usually when there is a floor and the ground effects are working with the splitter and with the diffusers on the rear, it will be creating 300 kilometers an hour at this speed with the wing in not that aggressive of a mode. You can kind of see that there is some curvature to it, but it's not really all the way high downforce mode. So that is also something that we can still add. And also another thing that I was planning to do is to create also another diffuser behind the front wheel in this section of the car that is also active and will move about, but I don't know if I will do that on the project or do that in the near future. I think that this may be for a later time in the process, and when I really feel like tightening up everything for the car. So yeah, I guess that this is everything that I can show you for the aerodynamics and everything, and maybe it is also worth it to just show the animations, and I can let's just see what happens. I haven't seen this myself, so we can kind of look at it from different angles on how the flow trajectories will pass over the car and all of those things. So that's unfortunate, but what we can also do is let's see, edit this and make it, instead of making those pipe shapes, we can also make it into small arrows and everything, and have some kind of continuous play of everything. So that might be better. Let's see how long this takes. Oh yeah, so like that, so you can see the flow. And also another thing that you can see is that the air is also getting in the cabin and everything, and it's passing through like small gaps here and all of those things. So that is yeah, a little bit annoying to see, because there shouldn't be a way for air to get in there. So that is, it's not really all the way realistic on how that is being portrayed and everything. So yeah, I don't really like that. So, but I can't really do anything about it. That's just the software. So what I do think that I will do in the near future is I will probably at the end of this month start rebuilding my 3D printer. And once I get to have like scale models, I might be able to take it like to Winton or somewhere. I'll figure out how to do that once I'm at that process, and maybe I can have like a little bit more realistic demonstrations of all of those things and how aerodynamically efficient it is. But so the reason why I think that the car will be very aerodynamically efficient is because there is, first of all, not a lot of surface area on the back of the car, let's just put it that way, for air currents to stick to, so there can't really be a lot of turbulence caused at the rear of the car, and that is what usually creates a lot of air resistance, because there are vortices and just low air pressure zones being created by surfaces that allow air to basically stick to it, if that makes any sense. And also at the same time, there is a very small surface area on the front of the car, because it's a single seater, so the windshield is just very small basically. And yeah, the only thing that is kind of sticking out are these fenders, but also the fenders are pretty pores, maybe that's maybe a good word. So so it allows a lot of air through it on all of the sides. So here between the tire and the car body, and also on the rear with the diffuser sections and everything. So everything is just very yeah, everything just lets air flow through it and over it in a very gentle way without causing it to really deviate from its path and all of that. So it is not creating a lot of resistance, it's not creating a lot of vortices, it's not creating none of those things that would create resistance. That is basically everything that I wanted to show in this video, and tomorrow I will start with the design and the interior, and after that I will start with the process of getting sending the car out to different people and everything. So yeah.
So as you may be able to see, it is now dark outside and it's like a couple hours later, because that really took a long time to make everything, to get everything ready for the video and everything. So yeah, but now that's done. So what I will be doing right now is I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the goal of the car is and everything. So I've been making a lot of renderings and a lot of videos on how different things would look underneath the car and in the car and all of that, and that hasn't really been without a purpose. I would really love for this car to get into a video game or do anything, because that wouldn't require crash testing, it wouldn't even require me to have a real car. So I will basically send the car out with a lot of pictures and also a couple of 3D files, but I won't be careful with the 3D files, but I will send those out to like video games to do whatever they want to do with it. And that was also one of the reasons why the car was actually designed, and also I took a lot of those things into consideration, because with the electric hybrid boost and everything that I will be able to provide with the car because of the electric motors, and if you have been following the journey you would know what I'm talking about. But there's like nitros in real life with electric horsepower, so that is basically it. So there also the release of project cars is like 2 weeks away, and it won't really be possible for me to get it in there by whatever time. So that is not but you know, they also have DLC, so I think with the timing and everything in this internet age, it's not like I have to wait for another year to get it in there. But that is like a goal, and I would love to achieve that. And also yeah, I just think that would be cool, because just imagine me being able to play a video game using my own car that I designed. So here goes like a compilation of all of the renderings and all of the videos that I've made over the past couple of days and weeks and everything for the car. And yeah, that is just it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, also subscribe to this YouTube channel, and tomorrow I will start with the what is called the interior for the car. I don't know when those videos will be out, but either tomorrow or the day after that. So thanks for watching again. Veldboom from SVA Design. Peace out.